The only person that ever told you the truth in the 1970s, women who look at the women over the age of 60. Okay, women over the age of 60 who might have like flirted with sort of hippie type of stuff, maybe the new age or something like that they branded it as in the 1970s or whatever. Okay, the only person that told you the truth was Germaine Greer. And even then she didn't tell you the complete truth, and half of what she said was crap. And here's the truth of it. Women don't know how much men hate them. Men don't know just how much they hate women. Men don't know just how much they hate each other. Okay? Okay? There are people who are trying to rectify the score. But while you're sitting there thinking that you can mention your way out of something, or that you can douse your way, no offense to douse, sometimes they get it right, usually not. When like to talk to ask the spirit guides, when the spirit guides are lying to them, they're lying to them. Okay? They're lying to them, and sometimes they're not even fucking spirits. Sometimes they're fucking computers. Here's a wild idea for you. If you want to get really esoteric and go to crazy land, if you like crazy land, try this one. The blue crystal grid is it's a type of artificial intelligence technology which is programmed to be perceived as being created by blue aliens from outer space, sometimes referred to as the Arcturans, which are nothing more than a variety of Therian. Not from Arcturus at all, they're a variety of Therian. Its purpose is to create a network between minds. It was invented in the 1970s. The technology started to develop in the 1970s. One of the cults that was programming that blue grid was associated with a satanic group that believed in something called the alien hierarchy. It wasn't actually the New Age movement back then. It was a satanic group, and the New Age movement, which is known for syncretism of ideas, has picked up on that one without realising where it's come from. It was a satanic group. And they've said, and I'm not saying whether Satanism is good or bad at this point, just saying that's where it came from. And they allege that there's a hierarchy that more or less ends in outer space, and there's aliens controlling everything. So if you're at the top of the hierarchy, you become an alien and therefore maybe a starseed. Maybe that's what a starseed is. Someone who thinks they've reached the top of the hierarchy because they're a type of alien. Now, the thing is that when that particular idea wasn't put on the blue grid straight away, it happened later, when cults within the New Age movement started to interact with it and to put their particular cult programs on it. Okay? So they've syncretically borrowed an idea from a stupid group, and here's why it's stupid. Okay? If this wasn't obvious to you, aliens are from outer space. Okay? If it wasn't obvious to you, aliens are from outer space. In terms of jurisdiction, okay, they have no jurisdictional authority anywhere on planet Earth or in any of planet Earth's inhabitants, no matter which type you're talking about. They are from outer space. Whether they are from a completely different universe, as in through one of those portals that the sun can puncture during a solar flare, or if they are from a different part of the galaxy, or even a completely different galaxy, is beside the point. If they are the humans of the future, that's also beside the point, except to say that that's probably a cult lie to trick you. So, let's look at the idea of jurisdiction. You only have jurisdiction over your own head. When you have imposter spirits and that sort of thing, there is an issue of jurisdiction. It's not their head. Therefore, no jurisdiction. Okay, with the idea of imposter spirits. Okay, an alien would qualify as an imposter spirit. Okay, an alien qualifies as an imposter spirit. An alien qualifies as something that doesn't have jurisdiction because it's from outer space. Okay, the jurisdiction is not something that the animal kingdom does. It is something that humans do. So we'll talk about how humans do jurisdiction. Okay, they have these things called nation states and or tribal boundaries, which operate in a similar fashion, where they determine that particular geographic areas are places of responsibility, custodialship, ownership, or management by that particular group of people and or their appointed representatives. Okay, the jurisdiction refers to the legal boundaries of that geographical area under those conditions, one or all of them. So the idea of jurisdiction applies when it comes to aliens from outer space. Just to use that argument philosophically, okay? We're projecting the idea so you understand. Okay, aliens from outer space are not from planet Earth. If the President of France has no jurisdiction over the United States of America, then why should an alien from outer space have jurisdiction over an American woman's head? True story. True fucking story. Okay? One of the issues going on with the United States of America in particular, but not exclusively, where that New Age cult seems to be more popular, is that country has a long history of bullshitting. Straight up bullshitting. Okay? One of the bullshits they tell is that America was founded as a democracy. No, America was founded as a retaliation by a petit bourgeois group of slave owners to avoid paying taxes to the aristocracy of the landmass that they originated from while they were invading someone else's space. They had no jurisdiction in the place that they were in, and they had presumably disidentified with their country of origin due to, this is what happens with migrants sometimes they get used to where they show up and then they don't know any better if it's enough generations later. Okay, if it's enough generations later, then technically they're not, a foreigner. Anyway, yeah. But it depends how you define that, okay? When we talk about imposter spirits, it doesn't work like that. They're still imposter spirits. Anyway, so when it comes to the sort of tribal boundary stuff or the nation-state boundary stuff, okay, the founding fathers thought that they had the right to create a new nation-state on top of people that they invaded as a means to avoid taxation for a country to which they originated. So they were still paying taxes to a foreign landmass, or more specifically to an aristocracy on a foreign landmass on a different island to the continent they were living on, and they disidentified. But they failed to identify with the people that were around them and respect their boundaries, their sovereignty, their laws, and their customs. So on the basis of that hypocrisy, we have these slave owners in 1776 who have tried to claim that they declare that they have the inalienable right to freedom on the basis of business owners shouldn't pay taxation. Okay, so the fundamental founding of the nation-state of the United States of America is on the basis of businesses should not pay taxation or wages or respect native peoples. Yeah. Okay, right, okay. The invader has the right to do what? To not pay tax and to do business in other people's country and to use slave labour when they get there. But if they don't want to use the locals as slaves, they'll import them from somewhere else. Okay, so if you can't see how that thread of idea is still present today in the United States of America in so many different areas, such as, for example, creating a NAFTA treaty or whatever, or with Mexico or whatever, which has contributed to the impoverishment of that company, of that country, and the creation and contributed to the creation of the drug cartels, and contributed to the people leaving Mexico across the border to become the migrants that get paid lower wages than everyone else, then you might kind of be missing something, America. There is something fundamental about your culture, that goes back to your nation state's founding, that has that in it. And if you can see how the New Age movement is an example of that, you might be getting somewhere. New Ager, old biddy from America who thinks the world lives in abundance because your husband's 401k was successful and you're sitting on a mink rug and you're retired and you can do what you like now. The world is abundant. You can just call me and your log to get your dinner. You don't have to cook, aren't you lucky? That's not how the world works. Oh, you prayed and you wished that the simulation would update so that that the poor people in foreign countries would stop being poor. But wait a minute, the New Age movement's been doing that for a couple of decades now, and actually there's more people that are homeless than ever. Oh, hang on a second. Is there any chance the New Age movement's actually connected up to the people who are actually ripping people off in the first place? Yes, there is. File from Elon Musk's subconscious. Serial behaviour associated with a CQL as at 2020 onwards. Spirits in connection. Someone whose birthday is 69 days before 420, and someone whose birthday is 69 days after 420. Both men who believed the world was literally a computer simulation like Tron. One who was actually part of the agenda to create it, the other one who was just part of a cult. Okay? That blue grid passing through everyone's head has cult programs on it, and they have connected it up to the supercomputer in Palo Alto that Google has, as well as the one in Memphis, Tennessee. Sometimes those spirit boxes, okay, have been turning people's minds into artificial intelligence. Okay? Sometimes that artificial intelligence, or those, is actually other people's minds that have been roboticized. If you actually look at the robotics industry and the mentality of the people behind that, they're extremely callous. They're objectifying. Turning you into a starseed is your booby prize. Women of America, it's your booby prize. Do you know what a booby prize is? Maybe it's stride English. It means you lost the competition, so here's your commiserations. A starseed is actually a commiseration. You lost. You lost the battle. So here's a consolation prize. What happened to the woman who lived inside the American woman? The New Age American woman, in the late 50s or 60s, sitting on a mink rug, paid for by her husband's 401k. What happened to her? Did she go to live in another man's body? And then afterwards was convinced by imposter spirits that they should accept some kind of hierarchical agenda. And they thought hierarchy was normal because around them everywhere. They should just accept that. Live in a state of acceptance and flow and things will be all right. Again, that's how the men befuddled you. That's how the men showed you just how much they hate you, because the men invented that. Let's look at Buddha and his role in this one. Buddha's role in this one was that he was a rich person who left his castle because he wanted to become an enlightened sage, and he was told that was his destiny anyway. And he got bored one day and he left and he saw people suffering. And unsurprisingly, he was upset by it, right? It's pretty hurtful, isn't it? To see someone being denied medical care just because they're a Dalit. Anyway, that Gautama character, he's then gone and he studied with the other sages. They tried to teach him asceticism, which means going without. And unsurprisingly, because he wasn't accustomed to that, he got bored. He thought it was a bit much. That the way to overcome suffering was not through going without, which causes suffering, but to take a middle path. And then he went home to his castle and left his teachings with his clerics or his monks. And he told the poor people, life is suffering or samsara, get over it. Just get over it. And then he went to live in his castle with his wife, and he had a son. You can look that up. He did, he had a son after he studied with the sages, with the wife from the castle he came from. And then the monks that he taught that to went and passed on the new wisdom to the others. And they told a bunch of poor people, they said, life is just suffering, get over it. You're too attached to results, okay? You seem to think that if you rebel against Gautama and his family and ask for fair wages and conditions and for the Dalits to have the right to medical treatment and care, okay, then it might reduce your suffering, but you're wrong. Your attitude stinks. You need to get over it. When you get over that, you'll achieve enlightenment and you'll be just like Buddha. And those people sat there in Gautama's castle on the mink rugs that came from their inheritance from the aristocracy and said how enlightened they were because they were Brahmins, while those people rolled around in the fucking mud. And no matter how hard they tried, no matter how much they suffered, no matter how enlightened they got, or how smart they got, or how knowledgeable they were still fucking Dalits. And to this day, the Dalits of India, okay, which comes from the law of Manu, not the original teachings of Hinduism, the law of Manu which appeared after Buddha. Not before, after. Are struggling with things like, if someone from a higher caste and then rapes them, will they get support from the police? So for all the praying of the Brahmins and all the praying of the New Age movement and their mantras, what has actually caused societal change? It couldn't be those evil protesters screaming and saying, the government lied to us. They made contracts with billionaires who were part of a project with the military-industrial complex to try and use a blue crystal grid technology and a satellite system to connect all the minds together to power up their Google computer. No, it couldn't be those guys, could it? That sounds like a pack of sore losers and fucking whingers who didn't accept their alien fucking overlords. That sounds like people who were following the law, doesn't it? Come on, be honest. It sounds like people were following the law and acknowledging jurisdiction. Speaking of jurisdiction, let's talk about the 12 tribes of Israel and how they're 12 signs of the zodiac. The New Age movement alleged that. It's a lie. Why? Because astrology is against Mosaic law. You can read the Pentateuch, which is the same as the Torah. Well, that's what they say anyway. And you can look in there. What's under the 400 laws of Moses, what does it say? it says that astrology is a type of divination and divination is forbidden. What else does it say? How many tribes are there? There's not fucking 12. You can rule that out. So, they've lied about the Jews. They've lied about the Bible. They've lied about their fucking intentions and their agenda and what their cult's actually done. And they're sitting there on Mick rugs, pretending they're the top and the fucking boss because the aliens are in charge and everything's going to be fine now. Well, their minds are actually being put into the Google fucking supercomputer in Palo Alto in California. And then coming back at them as Siri fucking AI and feeding back to them their fucking cult logic that got them into that mess in the first place. Because the men there in the robotics industry actually want women that are made from fucking robots. They want a woman's mind inside that fucking robot. So when he fucks that robot, she'll do exactly as he fucking says, and including wiping his fucking ass, his fucking ass. And they have nothing to fucking say in retaliation except the law of abundance dictates that if you say that you're abundant enough, it might come true. Like as if the robot agreed to, had a soul contract that they agreed to before they were born. As if. Okay? America, you're fucking shit. You're absolutely full of it.